Season 3 is over halfway complete, and with it going through the summer meaning Epic were on vacation, they've had to work on Season 4, specifically the trailer in advance, which a ton of details have been leaked for. Despite the story seeming non-existent in Chapter 4 until now, let's just say it's about to blow your mind and get crazy, so it's vital you stick around for the 480 to 600 second short duration of this video to get all of that, because I guarantee 99% of you miss most of these things. It would put a giant smile on my face and cheer up Charlie the Charcoal Pug if you could enter code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop right now. Literally, I believe one of the shortest codes to enter, and it greatly supports us and the channel. Last video I asked you guys to name this emote, and here's a ton of hearted comments on screen right now that got it right. This now, however, is our new emote, so let me know what this is down below in the comments, and if you get it right and your comment gets hearted, it could be showed on screen in the next video. And considering we're incredibly close to 2.55 million subscribers, whilst you're clicking buttons, hit the button, turn on all notifications. After all, it only benefits you, as we do try and give different subscribers every single day, with proof for that on screen right now. Diving straight into it all before we hop onto the Season 4 trailer stuff, as Epic Games are back in office now, they're already granted us some free rewards to make up the lack of content during the summer events. Not to mention the fact we didn't see the monkey skin that Denny created, although we did get the bat bling attached to this full set, and the same goes to be said for the harvesting tool being the peely foam finger, which I know everybody wanted to see. For those that don't know, the Fortnite x Elder Scrolls Online collaboration is now actually live, and Happy Power broke down everything about the free rewards that we can actually get for getting this game for free on the Epic Games store right now. Earlier today, the Elder Scrolls Online promotion went live. Here are a few things you need to know. You will only get a free bat bling if you download the game for free, and then you get a bonus pickaxe and another bat bling if you buy the Ebonheart package from the Epic Games store after downloading the game for free itself, which will actually cost you money. Despite this covering 3 Elder Scrolls cosmetics, of course, the skin will be coming to the item shop, or is in there now, on the 20th of July rotation, and make sure to use code FM1 if you happen to pick it up. Sadly, there's no free method on how you can get this, despite previous speculation, which Epic Games have put to bed now and confirmed. Well, the only free reward entirely is this bat bling. Speaking of free rewards, one that was more secret, however, the collaboration with Amazon Luna, apparently this harvesting tool is now being granted onto players' accounts. If you didn't manage to get this, then don't worry, it will be coming to the item shop at some point, alongside these other 2 Fortnite and Amazon Luna collaboration cosmetics, which will be released for free initially. As of now, it's only been determined in the files that these are attached to this particular collaboration. As to when they'll be implemented or able to be earned, I guess we'll have to wait and see. With the next downtime update being added onto the staging servers already, meaning it's releasing next week on the 25th of July 2023 as previously speculated before it was even on the staging servers. Despite data miners previously determining that the last update of this season is the one after that, version 25.30, G-Matrix Games has now further confirmed that 25.30 is our last update for this season, as Epic has set 26.00 as one of the release testing builds. The other is 25.30, and 25.20 is releasing next week. For those that don't know, G-Matrix Games was the person who determined that 28.00 was Chapter 5 Season 1, meaning we have 2 more seasons after Season 3 of this chapter going up to Season 5. And considering people are in disbelief over this, somebody replied Chapter 5 has to be next after Season 4, and he just replied, well, no. The interesting thing about this being the case from looking at the Battle Pass at the end date of Season 3, however, being August 25th currently, despite this lining up for a potential new Star Wars collaboration skin like we have Optimus Prime this season in the next Battle Pass, which we'll reveal in just a second, from following the trait of the annual chapter from Chapter 3 to Chapter 4's lifespan, this first ever annual chapter consisted of 4 seasons, hence why people are led to believe, considering the time frame usually of a season, like 80 days, that we'll only be going up to Season 4 this chapter. After all, from August 25th, we only have 100 days until December 3rd, which is when we're expecting Chapter 5 to release, as the end event or finale for this chapter, codenamed During in the Files, is scheduled to happen on the 2nd, going into an extended downtime with a black hole-like screen for like 12 hours before servers actually, go live again and downtime lifts. Although they could even delay the ending of Chapter 4 Season 3 to even further, perhaps even early September. I raised the question over on Twitter, where I'm doing a ton of giveaways also, as well as my Instagram linked in the video description, if this season 25.00, the 25th season of Fortnite, hence why it's named that version, ends as stated August 25th on the Battle Pass until December 3rd when we presume Chapter 5 starts, there's only 100 days in between. Does this mean Chapter 4 Season 4 version 26 in the files, the 26th season of Fortnite, and Chapter 4 Season 5 version 27 are only 50 days long each? Or is Chapter 4 Season 4 100 days long and 27.00 is as big of a season update for the LEGO collaboration, which we know they're hard working on? For those that don't know, Epic did contact some content creators, not myself personally, but a while ago they stated that this winter there's a ton of content upcoming that's going to absolutely blow our minds. This is exciting considering the lack of content we've seen throughout the mid-section of this year, especially over the summer event. It's been one of the most underwhelming, I think we can all agree, for an event. And as they also disclosed proposed a must-succeed initiative list for things upcoming in Fortnite that they're currently working on or having specific teams entirely work on them. Chapter 5 and both the LEGO collaboration were the first two things actually noted of on here, as data miners have determined. Regardless, despite this chapter also lacking story, so we thought anyways, even though there is one, but it doesn't correlate to what we've previously gone off in terms of the members of the Seven, which we're yet to see return. According to Donald Mustard on a podcast which isn't entirely over yet, which we have proof for in just a second, alongside the last reality returning, and this season in itself literally showing us the origin of them right in front of our eyes this entire time without us having too much suspicion. First of all, with Sloane surviving, it's not a surprise that Epic would throw a spanner in the works like this. After all, we thought she died from having the mecha team leader slam down on the tank that she actually managed to shut the hatch door of before, well, this happened. They literally put it in front of our faces without us noticing until now in the Chapter 4 trailer with her floating through space. Of course, this will have landed inside the debris on the island, literally in this hidden jungle area, of course, that's only been revealed now from the earthquakes happening. After all, this reality was formed from different realities or terrain pulled together from all over the Fortnite multiverse, with us being led to believe that everybody besides, well, Paradigm had been defeated by the last reality themselves or literally turned into chrome, although we didn't directly see what happened to the Foundation. On top of the Foundation leaving his mask behind, below the Mighty Monument statue in the Chapter 3 Season 4 quest, which apparently is a very unlikely thing that he would have done, it looks like next season the last reality is going to be at a forefront, and not only that, but the Foundation alongside even Sloane's right hand man will be returning, as Wenso stated. For some reason, the following mythics are set to be unvaulted in Chapter 4 Season 4. Foundation's MK7 rifle, as we already have like a version of this right now in game, Gunner's Stinger SMG, Zyg and Choppy's ray gun, overcharged pulse rifle, and enhanced Havoc shotgun. Of course, Zyg and Choppy's ray gun are literally what the last reality actually, used, this alien-like weapon when we saw it first initially introduced in Chapter 2 Season 7, on top of Optimus Prime in the quest recordings stating that formidable enemies have taken notice that the power that flowed through this island has grown weak. Formidable being enemies that we have once faced or know of or noted of to fear, which only could be no other than the last reality, ending realities as we know, and of course that force that flowed through the island being the 0 point that's currently apparently petrified according to the game's coding and crying out like a whale, groaning for help. After all, it did pull an entire reality together from different sectors of the Fortnite multiverse, which makes sense why it's encased itself like it did in Chapter 2 Season 6 in this spire kind of metallic structure, and considering we didn't see the Foundation or Gunner directly come to their demise in any sort of cinematic, maybe we can see them in the Chapter 4 Season 4 cinematic trailer. And as Restro states in this tweet, I think we know what all of this means. The leaks I've just read out about the unvaults, the last reality is returning next season, and it seems the 7 except Paradigm, which actually fled before the forming of this reality, will return next season, judging by Foundation rifle being set to be unvaulted, and maybe we'll see Amy as well return to help us fight. She could also be an upcoming Battle Pass skin. Amy, it's about time we saw her, to be honest, which is believed to be this character off the Fortnite surveys, and we have a lot to reference off here in just a second, including another version of the Herald. But before we hop into that, as for the collaboration skin, considering the new Ahsoka Star Wars series or show actually releases on the 23rd, many players are believing that this will be next season's collab. Whether it is released like Eren Yeager or Geralt of Rivia, as what currently Paradise Meowscles is the secret or unlockable skin unlockable halfway through the season, or the level 100 skin like Optimus Prime, I guess we'll have to wait and see. All I'm saying is at this point it's safe to say we see at least one collab skin out of the 8 Battle Pass outfits that are obviously coming around every single time. That number never changes, as the amount of collabs in a Battle Pass can be more than one, as proven by Chapter 3 Season 2 with Doctor Strange at level 100 and Prowler as the unlockable skin. Despite this season taking seemingly more of a step back in terms of the technology moving forward, which we know the last reality are very advanced in, Epic Games have still largely teased that they are the founders of this particular jungle area, and perhaps the technology is more advanced than we could possibly imagine. Sloane right now is currently trying to fix the apparatus and get it working to look at one of these 5 particular realities or areas throughout the Fortnite multiverse, which as of right now is supposedly looking at this particular logo, which of course is displayed on the heads of some of the statues in the jungle area. Speaking of the apparatus itself, on the outskirts of Rumble Ruins, we can clearly see that there's markings that match up almost identically to that of the ones on the cubes. And speaking of the cubes that we now know belong to the last reality or were brought into the Fortnite universe from them, even the plants that we've seen newly introduced to do different things such as heal us, stink us out, or even blow us up are the same colours of all different variants of the cubes, being like, blue, yellow and purple. As for the yellow cubes most specifically, however, these are the most interesting, as it seems to be the most powerful of them all, and despite us only seeing one on the island in Chapter 2 Season 7, there's a whole bunch of of them that could be making an attack or coming to a forefront of the storyline next season. This is because of the cube cradle ship that we saw for the first time during the Chapter 2 finale, that we literally looked through a portal and saw this giant spherical structure way bigger than the motherships. It was confirmed with Chapter 3 starting from us being granted this loading screen called Cube Cradle that, yeah, this indeed was the name of this particular ship, which is completely massive. We've seen huge things approach from afar in the past, like a distant star, Galactus, which then made its way onto the Fortnite island or into this reality trying to harness the 0 point. For reference, this is how big Galactus is in terms of scale to the Cube Cradle, and we know this based off of the size comparison not only to motherships, which are in this different reality, but also the comparison, as you can see next to that, the motherships themselves, the Chapter 2 and 3 side flipside islands. The last two chapters, the last reality, it's safe to say, has been responsible for ending the Cube Queen, Chapter 2, the Herald, Chapter 3, and speaking of the Herald, despite her shrinking the reality tree down to, well, this that we saw in Chapter 4 Season 1 and 2, which actually got updated, making players believe that we were going to be seeing the return of the Herald, literally the exact one we saw, of course. This area is no longer able to be seen and got destroyed with the earthquakes occurring, revealing the jungle biome. This doesn't entirely mean the Herald or her kind is gone forever, however, considering there's a different version of her almost looking like a twin sister on the Fortnite surveys, which you can see in the thumbnail of today's video, perhaps being a revived version thanks to the powers of Serenade being able to harness both water and chrome. Serenade, for those that don't know, was at these monolith structures, specifically the one in the ice biome as an NPC last season once introduced, and most specifically out of the abilities she harnesses, despite chrome correlating to the Herald already, her water abilities could actually be linked to not only reviving the Herald and changing her form into this amber version, making it a new version of the Herald instead of an identical or twin sister. As Restro stated, one of my awesome viewers mentioned how water was needed to create amber, and one of the leaked survey skins is the Herald made out of amber and stone. These monolith structures made out of, according to the files, bone and stone look very similar to the design of this Herald creature. And speaking of the last reality, despite Epic Games of course releasing concepts and versions of artwork, early stages anyways, this being the one of the Cube Queen in both different styles, maybe perhaps now we finally know what Amy meant about the chrome consuming them, changing them instead of completely killing or eliminating them, more specifically the scientist that she talked about right here. It's not entirely impossible, and it looks very likely, to be honest, that what happened to the scientist was he got turned from the consuming of chrome into an evil last reality member, as this early concept of a character called the General was found, and as you can see on the right hand side, first of all, before showing any of his selectable styles, despite looking very much like the scientist, there are 7 symbols implying, well, he's a turned member of the 7, and before we show the other styles, let's just take a moment to observe how similar that this person's pointed out over on Twitter this character actually is in terms of size, stature and design to the scientist. As for the other styles, including a mask off version or versions, here are what they look like on screen right now. The last one with orange lights kinda giving me Omega vibes. Just like the Cube Queen and the Herald, could this be the last reality member that we see make an appearance to end off this chapter, or is it the Herald going to be returning in this survey form? All I'm saying is, hopefully if we do go up to Season 5 and see 2 smaller seasons to end off and start Chapter 5 at the end of this year in December, fingers crossed part of this event is forced to be in first person, as we know they're still working on it, and here's what that looks like right now from the recent testing that was found. Whether or not this is only supported in UEFN entirely or comes to Battle Royale, it's undetermined as of now, but I'm guessing Epic Games wouldn't spoil anything about Battle Royale this big coming way in advance. Drop a like if you want to see this and subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any future uploads. Don't forget to take 2 seconds to enter code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop once again, as we've recently just acquired this code back. Other than that though, as for where you go to now, click this video on screen whilst you wait for the very next one I do publish on the channel.